Yo, what's up, YouTube? Okay, I got a question, and the user wanted my take on what I think the primary difference is between the upbringings of white children versus that of black children. Now, this conversation is one that is very loaded because we don't take the time to control the variables. So you can't compare a middle class family to a single parent, right, living in poverty. It's not going to work. Even if they're, the stats prove that, black children are more than likely going to be raised in this style, right? It just doesn't work. You can't compare two things, right? You can't compare apples and oranges. So first of all, we have to assume that things are equal. So in the case of this question, I'm going to assume, okay, that both families have both parents who are living together, who are happily married, both have jobs and careers, okay? Both are in America's middle class, okay? Because you have to account for parental involvement, and you also have to account for the socioeconomic status. So let's just assume that they're middle class, and both the families, the black one and the white one, have mommy and daddy who are there. Let's say both parents are professional who went to school, okay? Because like I said, everything has to be pretty much equal. Everything. If you're going to compare, they have to be equal, right? Even with cars, right? You're not going to compare a luxury car to an economy car. It doesn't work, right? So if you're going to compare a luxury car, you have to compare it to another luxury car. So let's just assume everything's equal. Now, before I, offend white people, I would say that a lot of things would be similar, okay? The whole valuing of education, hard work, respect, responsibility, those will be equal, okay? I think both children would have equal upbringings to the point where you would go through times where you could literally take and replace the children, because education will still be probably one of the most important things, and having respect and showing responsibility and integrity, all that will be there. So we would be similar, right, in more ways than different, whether you want to believe it or not. The only difference would be that the black parents would have to factor in the status quo, okay? Unfortunately, as young black people, right, so if you're raising your children, you are automatically viewed as guilty. You have to prove your innocence. So if you're a young black boy, it's common belief that you're uneducated and you're dangerous and you might do this, that, and the third. So you have to prove that you are not that way. Okay? So the whole world is going to perceive you as, being some deviant in some shape or form. So you have to prove your innocence, or you have to prove that you're an upstanding, normal type of dude who's just trying to do the right thing. So if you are a black parent, you may not like this, but you have to prepare your daughter and your son for this. You have to prepare them to walk out in a world where everybody's going to perceive them as being more negative than positive. It sucks, and you shouldn't have to, but if you want your child to do well, they have to know. They have to understand that people are going to perceive them a certain way, and it may not be favorable, but you have to fight through it, right? That's just part of the black experience. So if you're a black parent, you have to deal with this. And if you're a white parent, I don't think you have to. And I say this because the status quo has it that you are presumed innocent, okay? So somebody has to prove your guilt. So no one's going to assume that, a young white boy is a deviant or he's doing something wrong unless they have outstanding evidence to prove that he is. Okay, so if you're a parent, you're not worried about that. The status quo has your son and daughter in a position where they're automatically given the benefit of the doubt, to the point where, like I said, somebody has to show extensive evidence to prove that your daughter did something wrong or your son did something wrong. So you're not worried about that. That's not an issue you have. So like I said, and this isn't something that's glaring. You're not going to walk in and automatically point it out. It just, it takes time to understand this difference. Because like I said, there's not too many things that are different. If you throw in, Asian families with a similar background, if you throw in Middle Eastern families, we're all going to be the same pretty much. Now, we may accomplish things differently, but at the end of the day, we're going for the same destination. We just get there differently. So, to me, there's going to be times where you can literally take and mismatch children from different families and come back in a couple of years and they'll be fine. But the black family will always stand out because, like I said before, you have to raise your child not only to value education, to work hard, be about integrity, understand deadlines, and be polite and respectful, but you also have to prepare them for a world that is going to perceive them as guilty of something. Okay, because after a while, it eats at you. And like I said, it shouldn't be there, but unfortunately, you have to learn how to deal with it, right? No one wants to pay taxes, but unfortunately, you have to pay taxes. So you better understand how to deal with it. So to me, that is the biggest primary difference. Now, I'm sure there's others, but the question was primary. So I'm focusing on the biggest difference in my eyes. So hopefully you guys can come on and share your experiences and tell me how you feel. So you guys take it easy. God bless. My bad, I forgot to add this in the video. It was an example. When my friends and I were in high school, we used to get ready in the off season for football, and we used to, go running around our community. Okay, and I remember being stopped by the police. Keep in mind, I live in this community. My mom pays her mortgage and her HOA fees just like anybody else. So they pulled me over and they wanted to, figure out what I was doing because I understand they thought I was running from something, right? They couldn't understand that a young black boy would just be, jogging. I had on my, football practice shorts and everything. So, it wasn't like, I was running in some jeans. I was running in athletic attire. But I was still pulled over. And this highlights the point I'm trying to make in terms of being automatically presumed guilty, but having to prove your innocence. Now, I had some of my white friends did the same thing, and they were never stopped because automatically they were viewed as being innocent. And since the cops had no real a reason or motive to pull them over, they didn't. But the fact that I was black was reason and motive enough for them to stop me. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get at. Had to add that. God bless.